Morning Stampers, I'm Meg from Maker Mornings with Meg, and this is episode 214 of Maker Mornings with Meg. So today we are going to work on a Christmas card, and happy Friday also, by the way. I know that's always a big deal, right, when we get to the end of the week. So I was going to start a little early today, but you know how that goes sometimes, because I have the Stampin Up on Stage conference, which will be airing in a short while this morning. So that's kind of fun. It's the big demonstrator convention, and it's virtual right now, which means we don't get to gather in person, which I'm a little sad about. But on the plus side, we get to watch with friends from all over the world at the same time. So that's a lot of fun. So coming soon. So today's card is a Christmas card that features the fabulous Merriest Moments stamp set, this one right here. And this is the one that I am featuring this month for LovenStamps card kits to go and LovenStamps project tutorials, which you get the PDF project tutorials for this project plus 3 more for free if you place an order in my online store this month and November. And if you have an order that's at least $50, then you will actually get card kits for two cards. This card that I'm going to show you today and the other one that I showed you last time with the embossing folder. So kind of a fun treat to get in the mail. You get all those pieces like pre-cut and ready to go. And I will also just say that if you have a larger wish list and you're thinking about getting, you have at least $75 on there, the best answer is that you should just get I call it the I Want It All kit, which is the demonstrator starter kit, because it's $75 this month, which is an amazing special, and you get $125 worth of product with it. So like I had 2 stampers here this week, they're like, wait, if I order $75, I could get a $50 shopping spree and a discount on my future orders as a demonstrator. Yes, that's how it works. So definitely let me know if you have more questions about that, and visit my website. There's a link in the video description, LovenStamps.com, for details about that. All right, you guys ready to get stamping? Okay, so I'm going to not turn our camera down, because the first thing we're gonna do is use the dies and the embossing folders. And I should say my good mornings. Hi, Terry and Jeanne and Velda and Kelly and Tanya and Trish and Sue and everybody. So good morning, guys. So what I'm gonna do now, oh, I didn't leave that in the right place. What I'm gonna do now is jump over and do this embossing. So I'm gonna show you this, because the most confusing thing that people have questions about is, Meg, how do I do the sandwiches for these projects? I don't really get how that works. Oh, did I mention that if you're a demonstrator in my group, you also get the tutorial PDF for free? Just another teaser there. So dies for this set, they actually come, the Hybrid Frames, Merriest Frames, come as a set of dies and a set of the embossing folder to match. So you're gonna use these 2 things sequentially. When I first saw this, I was confused, like, do I do it all at once? Do I do it, how does this work? So we're gonna do it sequentially, and I have this large die here that I'm going to pop onto a piece of brushed metallic cardstock, okay? This is the bronzy one. I love this with the red and the green for this card. And so I'm gonna pop this on here, which leaves me that big space in the middle. Now, you could just leave it there, but we're not gonna use it for a card, so I'm gonna take the stitched rectangle that is designed to go with this, and I'm gonna cut it all at the same time. So I'm gonna end up with the piece I'm using and the piece that I'm saving for another card. And the sandwich for this is the plates here, the base plate and the thin die adapter, and then 2 of the clear cutting plates, okay? So I put 1 clear cutting plate down, I put another, put down my cardstock and my, oh, I'm like off the camera, my dies, and then I'm gonna pop the second plate on top and then run that through. Now you wanna be a little bit careful. You wanna make sure that you don't accidentally have your dies overlap, because putting 2 dies together on top of each other and running them through is kind of hard on the dies. You're not gonna like that. But we have here our dies cut, and if you look at the back side, I always check the back side of my cut before I pull anything out, because if I can see those lines all the way around, then I know that I've got a really good cut and I'll be able to pop it out easily. So there's my center. You see those stitch lines, so I'll save that for another time. And then I'm actually not gonna take this out of the die. I'm gonna kind of keep it pinched in there. Let's see. Yeah, you guys can see better on this side, I think. So I'm gonna kind of keep it pinched in there because since I am holding, let's see how to show this. Since I'm holding the cardstock on the die, it gives it a little bit more support. The brushed metallic cardstock's pretty tough, but I kind of like to hold it on the die, just sort of back it so that it has a little bit more support from the die so that it doesn't pop, you know, get torn or anything like that. But it cut really cleanly. Then the last thing, see all those little tiny dots in there? What I can do now is take my take your pick tool. So here with the pokey end at one end and then this die adapter. Ooh, so in the video description are links to all the products. I realized I didn't put the link for the take your pick tool and the die brush adapter, so I'll have to work on getting that added. But the others are there with the specialty plate and stuff that we're gonna use next. So did I get that all out? Okay, I'm gonna use my pokey tool to poke just a couple of those little spots. And probably I could kind of skip this because our embossing folder next is going to take care of some little last bits. But I will tell you my exciting news from the Stampin' Up! On Stage conference, which started last night with awards night. I was very excited and honored to be recognized as number 47 demonstrator in the United States. There are 45,000 demonstrators worldwide, so that was kind of an exciting accomplishment. So thank you to you guys for watching my videos and for your orders and your support, and my fabulous LovenStamps team members and everyone for just being so wonderful and making this so much fun, right? Demonstrator demonstrator motto is to love what you do and share what you love. And that is clearly what I do, is love what I do and share what I love. All right, so there is our frame. Now, it's pretty right now, and you could use it this way, but to make it even better, what you will want to do is run it through the Hybrid Embossing folder, okay? Oh, thanks for your congrats, guys. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to pop this on here and I'll show it to you. See how it lines up perfectly on there? So this is the die cut lining up with the folder. And I'm gonna pop it on there and then I'm going to close it up and pinch it. You could put a little piece of washi tape inside there to hold it. And then I'm gonna change our sandwich. So this is the part that people get confused about. So now I'm going to take away my clear plate and my thin die adapter so that I have just my big block. I have just the big block then, and I'm gonna add the specialty plate. Now, picture in your head that this specialty plate is a gray piece of plastic that is the same width, not clear blue, because the new one is gray, okay? So when you look in the catalog and when you look at my online store to order it and be like, wait, there's nothing blue here. Oh, right, Meg said it was gray now, okay? So I'm gonna put my folder in and I'm going to pop my die on top, or my plate on top of it. So there's no bottom plate, just the bottom, and then I'm gonna crank that through. Now, if you're familiar with your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, or the old Big Shots, same difference with plate size, you'll know what that should feel like. If it feels super hard to crank it through, then just pause and think about what you might be doing out of order. Most commonly would be adding this thin plate adapter in there. So remember, no thin plate adapter. Okay, so then here's the big reveal. We've run it through our folder and we have now this amazing embossed die cut. Isn't that seriously fabulous? So we are going to now turn our camera down and I'm gonna show you how we're gonna finish off a fabulous card for this. Aw, thanks for the congrats, guys. It's kind of fun. You guys are like seriously an amazing part of that, our whole Maker Mornings with Meg video community. So thank you guys for making this so much fun and for all of your support. So All right, so we get our camera centered, plus or minus. Oh, there was the sneak peek if you saw it. All right, I don't know about you guys, but I usually have a ruler out when I stamp too, especially when I'm trying to go back and recreate cards that I've already done. Okay, so yes, Sue says this looks amazingly cute. Thank you. And thanks for the congrats, guys. All right, so we've got our die here. We have our extra piece that we've set aside. We are going to take this. Oh, okay, well, you guys have seen how the embossing folder works. We're gonna take this and we're gonna use a piece of real red cardstock that is 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches. And we are going to run this through our embossing folder too. So we have this embossed like frame piece on top, and we're gonna have this inside. So since I've cut this a long way, make sure you score, first of all. And I'm gonna slide this all the way in here so that the hinge of my card is right here lined up at the edge of the hybrid embossing folder, okay? So kind of centered top and bottom. And I know it's over to the side, but that is perfectly okay, all right? We're gonna go with that as part of our design process. So running this through, and ta-da! Here is that done through the magic of television. I don't know, can you guys see the embossing very well? I think so. Yeah, okay, I think so. All right, so this is gonna be our card base, and now we want to do some decoration. So I've got a piece of cardstock here. This is Old Olive to go with our real red, and it is cut to 2 3/4 by 4. And again, the cutting and photo directions and everything are all in that PDF that goes to you when you order something from my online store this month. So, or if you're a Loven Stamp Files demonstrator. So if you decide to take advantage of that $75 special, you should definitely do that. But you could also, you'll get the set of tutorials from there too. So, all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and stamp an Old Olive on Old Olive cardstock, which is something I love to do, stamp color on color, and around the edge, because we're gonna put another piece across the middle. And that is going to be this strip here. And I'm gonna bring in my Evening Evergreen. So we have sort of 3 colors that I'm using mostly this month: the Real Red, the Old Olive, and the Evening Evergreen. And one of the great things about Loven Stamps tutorials is that they are a curated set of supplies, a list of supplies that I put together that you'll know you can mix and match to make several different projects. And that's a little crooked, so I'll flip it over to this side and see if I can get it a little less crooked. I want a little space at the end. There we go, I like that better. Okay, and then I want this to be just a little bit wider than my card, so we're gonna trim that down there, okay? So we have our base here, and then I'm gonna slide this over, and you see how that just nicely is set off by the embossed image. Hopefully you guys can see that on the camera. So we have that set over there. And then I am going to go ahead and bring back in our frame. So now, when I first looked at this frame, kind of like with Eden's Garden, I thought, well, what if I don't always want a rectangle of pieces? So the good news is that this is so much more than just a rectangle because you have your paper snips, and you can trim it to include whatever elements you want on your card. So I am going to trim here and here. Let's see, I think I need to trim a little bit of the branch there. Kind of trim along the edge, there we go. So now I have a long strip of fabulous elements to go with this, and these pieces which I can use on another card. So definitely I could do 2 of this card, probably 3, because I could take the 2 end ones and stick them together just from one frame. So this will kind of extend a long time, and that is how I'm going to use that. So I'm going to go right underneath there, and now we have not only the fabulous embossing in the background, but we have this embossed die cut image, which coordinates with the Merriest Moments stamps. So really an amazing bundle. It doesn't have designer series paper with it, so it's not like a whole suite, but I'm actually choosing to just focus on the elements here and not add designer series paper to these cards. I know, gasp, that's like crazy, right? I always use DSP. But I want to bring in something to just give us an accent point right here in this big blank spot. And so I'm gonna bring in the piece of basic white cardstock and these poinsettia images here. So now I'm gonna bring in real red. Whoops. Real red, there we go. And I'm gonna ink these guys up and go ahead and stamp 2 of them here. So there's a big poinsettia and a smaller poinsettia. Now a hint for you, don't try to cram them too close together, because when you're die cutting, it's so much more convenient to just run them through at the same time. And so you are going to go ahead and, if you leave yourself space in there, you'll be able to get that, so. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pop on now the center parts of our flowers, and through the magic of television, I have them die cut. Oh my goodness. Okay, one moment, I will be right back. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so like I said, we have on stage later today. So some of my LovenStampfuls family team members are getting together to watch video together. So anyway, okay, so pieces to layer. I should have said talk amongst yourselves for a moment. Let's see. Sue was worried that I was cutting the pretty die. Oh yeah, but Sue, then you can use this for multiple cards. So much layering here to emphasize the different pieces. Okay, so then our poinsettias are gonna layer on top just like that. And I guess, are we ready to kind of put this card together? I'll show you how I went ahead and layered this so that we can make the most sort of our layers. So one of the things I really like to do is to use the shadow between layers to really emphasize what kind of is going on in the background, or to give a card a little more texture or motion. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this on with the Stampin' Dimensionals so that you get a shadow layer between those 2 layers of cardstock there, okay? And then on the back here, I'll get some ink out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and attach this piece and I'm gonna do it with the dimensionals, because that just takes a lot of the work out of it, so you don't have to glue. So just take your dimensionals and pop them right at that, usually I say right at the intersection between the layers. You can kind of see how that works. Nobody's gonna need to know that I messed that up there. And then I'm gonna flip this here and pop it down, and I kind of want it on that bottom 3rd line. So think rule of thirds, right? So rather than putting it right in the center, I'm gonna put it kind of on the focal point on the bottom 3rd line of our element. And then I'm gonna come back with our pieces here. Now, we're kind of getting stacked up pretty high, so instead of gluing this one with a dimensional, I'm just gonna go ahead and pop some multi-purpose liquid glue on there and stick that down. But I do want there to be separation between these 2 poinsettias. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this one on there, okay? Now green lead glue or multi-purpose glue doesn't grab instantly, so make sure, like you saw it shifting there, give it a second to grab. Now the other thing that's part of my curated supply list this month is the gold holly leaves. So if you wanted to use a gold holly leaf in here, you could pop them, because they're part of the suggested supplies that you'd want to purchase to make these projects. So you could pop some gold holly leaves. I'm going to go ahead and leave them off of this one, but I'll show you what they look like. Here's the tip that I gave the other day, was that you can color those holly leaves with your designer series or your Stampin' Blends markers, okay? All right, let's see. Tanya said, thanks for that. I was worried about the spit in the sentiment white piece. Oh, that little dot. Yeah, I know. I flipped it over and there was like a smudge on the cardstock, but yes, we've covered it up. No worries. Okay, but for the inside of your card, because you definitely don't want to just leave that inside blank, you want to do some stamping. So I do love these images. You could use any of these other fabulous ones from Merriest Moments, but because I already have them mounted and ready to go, I would just take a couple of these and then add those center dots here in the evening evergreen. Okay, so that would be the inside of my card. And then because I want to repeat this old olive, rather than just popping this on the real red, I would take an element here and layer that inside. Okay. I should actually layer it so I don't drop it in an ink pad accidentally. So think about how you are layering the insides of your cards too. Kind of a fun way to really make the most of the elements and the colors, and to bring those colors from the front to the inside of your design, okay? All right, so there we have our finished project. So, all right, you guys like that? So think about these hybrid embossing folders. I haven't even shown you all of the things that you can do with this. I'll leave this cardstock tucked inside here because I think it shows off the folder a little better. But there is not only the folder and the die, there's actually a whole set of dies that I haven't even pulled out for this card. And they include extra little poinsettia elements, the dies that match the leaves here, and then this giant die. And if you're thinking, what is that for? Then, let's see, whoops, pull this out. This is actually designed to go around this one here. Let's see, there we go. So they are almost the same size, just a teeny bit different. You can't cut these together like you can with when I showed you that trick with the rectangle. You don't want to cut these together because they'll overlap, but it makes a shadow. So if you want to die cut this and then have like a perfect little bit of a shadow behind your die cut element, then you could do that too. And you know how I always say, like we did on the inside, I added an extra shadow to set those layers apart. This set of dies basically lets you do that with this die cut element. So if you had like a really busy designer series paper in the background or something, and you wanted to set aside this die cut, then you could use the die here and you would cut another piece for yourself that would set aside that element. Okay. All right, so do you guys want to see the 4 projects? I think they're on my website at LovenStamps.com under the Card Kits to Go page, but I haven't shown them to you in a video yet. So here's the one we did today. This is the one that I did last week. Here was the envelope. I did sort of that same little simple envelope piece, and they all use the same stamps and the same set of ink pads and so forth. There is coming soon two more video tutorials coming. So one is for this cute little table favor, and I will be showing this one to you with this little removable tag and candies and so forth. So this is one of the tutorials in that set. And then the fanciest one is the one at the end, and that is this one, which is going to be a gatefold card, and I will teach you all about Stampin' Blends and the brushed metallic cardstock and my recommendations for how to do that, because there are definitely some tips and tricks to making that work really well. So those are the 4 projects for this month, if you're interested in those. And they're not posted right now, but I do have other tutorials in my Etsy store, which is LovenStampsCardMart over at Etsy. So you can get some of my past tutorials there if you'd like to purchase those. So always great to have like simple things that you can print with big pictures and directions and cutting supplies and stuff. So all right, guys, that is Friday. I'm with Kelly, who says that the folder and the die are the coolest thing. Yes, they are super. I love the coordination, right? Stampin' Up is absolutely the best at coordinating their paper and their dies, and their stamps and their dies, and their stamps and their punches, and now the folders and the dies. So, and then the greetings in this stamp set are perfectly coordinated to go in that space in the center too. All right, so if you love dies, next week is another special that you're gonna wanna know about. So not only is there the Start with Savings set, which is that demonstrator starter kit for $75. I talked about it at the beginning. If you have $75 you wanna order, just get the starter kit. You can get it from my online store. I would love it if you would sign up with me because you're supporting me as a demonstrator when you do that. And the $75 that you're gonna pay includes a bonus $50 in product of your choice. So it's like spend $75, get a $50 shopping spree. And then you get a discount on the things that you place for yourself as a demonstrator after that. So, and you can be part of our LovenStamps demonstrator community. Okay, so that's first special, but then next week, November 16, 17, and 18. Stampin' Up is running a stock up sale so that we can just get it out of the way before Thanksgiving. We can all enjoy a nice Thanksgiving with our families and friends and so forth. But that stock up sale is going to be 10% off cardstock, 15% off ink pads, and 20% off dies. So really exciting, especially if there is a die set that you wanted to get that you weren't going to purchase the stamp set for maybe. Let's see, one that you might consider, I'll talk about this next week, but is the Stitch Greenery Die, which is a great one and doesn't really have a stamp set associated with it. If you have lots and lots of Christmas pieces, you could choose to skip the Merriest Moments stamp set, although you probably want, because you're going to get the dies to match all the florals and stuff, you probably just want both of them. But that would be an example, so all kinds of possibilities for that. So that's next week, November 16, 17, 18, in my online store. So if you have questions about products, questions about the demonstrator starter kit, questions about, oh my gosh, what's that on stage convention thing that Meg said she's going to today, let me know. And I wish you all a most fabulous weekend. And I better go because we're getting started with our meeting. So happy stamping, guys. Take care.